Hey, what's up, guys? Happy weekend. Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Hope everyone's doing well. Before we get started with today's topic, today we're going to be kind of doing a quick little update on 2025 Lincoln Cents. Probably the last one for the foreseeable future. I'll probably do an update when the numbers go live for just kind of update what the vintage numbers are for the month of March, which I would assume should be rather explosive. I mean, we should see whatever existing number from February be probably, if I had to venture a guess, anywhere from 60 to 100% higher, which is a pretty significant jump up. Uh, and a huge departure from all of the speculation and news, the executive order that the president had shot out there in February. But there are other folks that are not taking any chances in this one. All right, so we're going to explore exactly what that is. You guys probably already saw the thumbnail, so it should come as no surprise that some of our oldest illustrious TV coin hucksters are back at it again, and the 2025 Lincoln Cents are firmly in the middle of that conversation. So we'll talk about that here in a second. So our next show on Whatnot is coming on April 4th. So that's next Friday as of this video. Want to let you guys know, to kind of kick off April, we're going to be giving away one graded NGC 2023 Lincoln Shield Cent Extra V variety in Mid-State 64. The coin has a secondary market value of around $100. So we'll be giving away one of these on the next stream. So if you guys have not signed up, and no purchase necessary, by the way, for this, go ahead and go to the link down below in the description box, or follow the link in the comment section of this video and come by, sign up, and see if you can win this coin. Plus, we're giving away silver and all sorts of other great stuff. So you certainly won't want to miss it. I'm feeling a little bit better. I've been kind of like down and out this whole week with which I suspect to be some sort of like flu or just really bad cold bug. All brought upon just the change in the weather, and everything's all flying and all that crap out there. So no big surprise. I go through it every year. But to kind of kick off our main topic for this one, yes, what you're seeing, Coin Vault TV has entered the fray of really pumping and dumping and hyping 2025 Lincoln Cents. So they are, of course, they've been around for a long time, since the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have other guys like HSN and a few others. Rick Tamaska has his show. I don't know if he's still doing live shows, but he used to be one of the regulars. But he was we called him the Franklin $50 man, because that was a specialty, and he was selling a lot of those back in the day. But you had a lot of these TV coin hucksters, that were far in advance of what the internet is today. And, the conversation are infomercials about coins and selling of coins, are they still relevant today? In a way, kind of, yeah. The same way that Littleton Coin Company is still, still a relevant dealer, for coins. And we all know about the coins on demand and, that whole service, and how people first kind of get started in a hobby and come to find out that they are some of the most expensive coins that you can buy on the secondary market. Okay, that's not anything new to a lot of us that have been in a hobby for a while, but Coin Vault TV has been around quite a long time. I would say that they're not the innovator, but they've grown to be one of the top infomercial companies out there. And you could say that a lot of the selling and the pricing and all that stuff, the tactics can be a little bit questionable, and some aspects they are. They push payment plans onto a lot of people to help move very expensive product, and it puts people into debt, by doing stuff like that. But they get their point across. They sell tens of thousands, millions of dollars in coin inventory every year. Some of it, albeit very lackluster. How many times can you sell a Mid-State 69, Silver Eagle, in like 15 different conceivable ways? Kind of like repackaging, that same gift that someone had given you, and then you're regifting it to someone else, and then they're taking that gift, regifting it to another person, and it just continues on down the line. That's kind of like their methodology and their business practices. And, now they have something new to grasp on. They were killing it with the State Quarter Series and Silver Eagles as being, especially post 2011, post recession, they've been killing it with the Silver Eagle program, the Gold Eagles. And now that we're seeing run ups in silver and gold, they're kind of like capitalizing on that to charge the consumers more money for the same collectibles that even just a few years ago were 30-40% less, in cost for you and I. But buying them direct from the infomercials obviously comes with a steep price, as we all know. Some of us have never used that, and thank God. We lived in a time back in the 80s and 90s where, your mom or your aunt or your grandma would be sitting there watching TV, and they're sitting there plugging on the phone, calling Spiegel, and ordering, clothes and all this stuff. And then, they would just put it on a credit card. They would use Spiegel's credit card system and all that stuff. So things are a little bit different today. We're all kind of more educated, when it comes to the market, when it comes to, just doing everything out there. You want to know how to remodel a bathroom? Just go on YouTube, and more likely you're going to get probably more information than you need, because there's a lot of people, contractors and all that do it, as a way of, it's not giving away the free information, because at the end of the day, you still have to put the work in toward doing all that. But, it's almost like a business card, so to speak, get their name out there. Same with Coinball TV and all that. They sell what they deem to be the most popular kind of like newsworthy products. Okay, this year, 2025, the bridge year between kind of like an unprecedented weird year of 2024 with some really low vintage coins that came out last year, but also the upcoming semi-quincentennial event and some other stuff. The U.S. Mint had just put out a video, a small little video package on the upcoming DC Comics collaboration with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all that stuff. And, there's some leaked images of some of the metals and coins that they're going to be producing from that. And people are very receptive to it, even though other world mints have already done it. They've already acquired that IP and have the rights to produce coins and things of that nature with DC Comics or Marvel Comics, characters on them. And here we are in 2025. It seems to me that the U.S. Mint is the last to do it. We've gone on through too many tangents as it is, but, that's kind of like more of the news and updates in the market than anything else. So I'm glad to see, finally, that the 2025 Lincoln cents, even though we don't have any updated numbers for the month of March, these things are starting to finally quiet down on the secondary market. Individual rolls of both P and D coins are down to 8 to 10, $12. Okay, which is right in that wheelhouse as far as how much they normally sell for on any other given year. Full boxes still quite high. They're $350 to $400. I anticipate these things to be under $200 at some point in the future. Now, the only thing that could kind of swerve all this is, let's say, Monday or Tuesday, with the updated numbers for the month of March for U.S. Mint production of Lincoln cents and all the other denominations comes out. If that number does not move and they did not produce jack shit for the month of March, that's going to be a serious game changer. March, April, and May, on record, historically, through the U.S. Mint, are some of the busier production months for circulating coinage. And it kind of tails off after the month of June, all right, which last year, a lot of the production ended right around June, July. And then at the end of the year, when they were looking at their balance books and they were doing, kind of like the preliminary accounting and all that stuff, come to find out that they could afford to do a little bit more production. So they made more nickels. I forgot what else they made. I would have to say I think more Silver Eagles bearing the 2024 date or some other stuff. But they ended up producing a little bit more coins to cap off the end of the year to help balance things out on their end, financially, fiscally, and all that. So here we are. We're kind of like in this strange, kind of weird, what if scenario. Like, what if the mint produced no more Lincoln cents for the month of March? Well, that's obviously going to have a huge scare tactic effect on a lot of people that are currently speculating and probably have been waiting in the wings. Like, just the folks that are just sitting there to kind of like wait and see. All right. They're not speculating on everything. They're just kind of sitting back and then, gauging from there. Activity and secondary market sales is going to shoot up through the roof if there's no production in the month of March. I am probably about 1% sure that that's even going to happen. I'm more 99% sure that the production is going to be a lot higher and it's going to be kind of like a new unprecedented amount. I would not be surprised if we saw the numbers between 400 and 500 million at the end of the day when they, decide to update their numbers. So because of that, again, there's still a lot of speculating going on here. It's going to be a lower than normal production year, I would say, bar none, for a lot of the coins. Washington quarters especially, but nobody's really paying attention to those. So enter in, all of the opportunists out there. Obviously, we've been seeing a fair share of them on eBay. Regular Joe Schmo people. Probably a lot of folks that watch some of my videos or some of Son of a Silver Stacker's videos, some of the various other YouTube people out there that do coins that have talked about 2025 Lincoln cents. Live Coin Q&A has talked about on a few occasions, but they're more of like, don't invest in this. It's not, not worth it. And I thoroughly agree. I haven't bought any 2025 coins other than proof sets. So yeah, I'm kind of in that crowd of like wait and see. But even if we saw a drastic shift, I'm not going to be making a move. I just like to monitor because my collecting kind of like direction really has nothing to do with modern coins. I like looking for some of the old classic stuff, cherry picking varieties and all that. But we can't help but know that there is a good group of people out there that are all about what comes out into circulation because it's the most easily accessible type of coins to begin to collect into is stuff that you can find in change or at the bank. And so, you have coin hucksters, infomercialists like CoinVault TV that are coming in and they're taking advantage of this. Check this out. This is one of their products that they're selling. I forgot the gentleman's name on there, but this right here, this is an $80 package. Here's what you're getting for $80. You're getting 10 1-ounce copper bars or rounds, which typically they have a value of around $2 a piece. Keep in mind, people, the price for 1 pound of copper is around $4.60. So 1 ounce obviously does not make a pound. So therefore, $2 is such a huge stiff premium as it is. So you have these 10 rounds and bars, which encompasses $20 of value out of that $80. They were also adding in, I think that's like a 3 or 5 pound bag of wheat cents, which is not a whole lot. It's like $20, $22. And then the rest of it is made up in only 3 rolls of 2025 Lincoln cents, both P and D. So when you look at the big picture, they're tossing in the premium of about $13 per roll for each of those coins, which, it's not too terribly out in the left field. It's kind of like stabilized to where it is right now. Now, my numbers could be skewed and they could be off, all right, by a little bit. We're talking a little bit of a margin here. But when we look at the overall picture, they're promoting this package, but they just can't sell the 2025 Lincoln Cents as is because they want to build the value around this while trying to make the monetary obligation into buying it as high as it could possibly be. So that way it's high. And they probably own those 1 ounce copper rounds for under $1 a piece, probably 75 cents a piece at the end of the day. Because, they buy in bulk. They probably know a vendor where they can get it for cheap. But look at the little things that are on that image. One of the things that's very glaring is this compared to $1,000 plus. Now, are they kind of like alluding to eBay sales or what have you? And those eBay sales are old. That's like 30 days old, where the boxes were still selling for $1,000 plus, But what are the comparisons to? Because nobody else is selling a package quite like that. So there's a lot of things there, a lot of the traditional infomercial tactics that they're pushing out there to try and move it. They even have the counter at the bottom of the screen where you have X amount of minutes to buy these because they're selling out. They're using all the big gracious buzzwords, to show the popularity of the product. And CoinVault TV has been around for a long time. They have a dedicated base of clients. And even though they might have a client base that's more on the older side, because we're talking about the old days of like picking up the phone, calling them, which to this day, they still have that 1-800 number on there, is to appeal to people on the old school side of things where you have to call in, give your information, give your credit card number over the phone, things like that. But they also have the website they promote, I believe, on Instagram. Now they're on YouTube. They've been on YouTube for a while, actually, 7-8 years, I believe. But they have what they call, and they're currently live right now, if you guys want to look. They have the revolving 24-hour live show. So they have the same live show that's consistently going. And they're taking the same clip of sales of the product that they're trying to sell, and then they're just replaying it. They're looping it, So you're going to see the sale for the 2025 Lincoln Cent package, which they called the last Lincoln Cents, quote unquote, question mark, question mark, question mark. You're going to see that probably maybe 4 times a day if you watched CoinVault TV either on the television or on YouTube and you watched a full 24 hours worth. God bless if you have that kind of time and energy. You're going to find that same clip with that same product package, you're probably going to end up seeing it about 4 times. And that's just a pure guess. Again, it really depends on how long the looped kind of like video of their most current product offering stream is. If it's 6 hours, then they'll play it 4 times in a day and they'll just continuously loop it. But it's a never-ending 24-hour cycle live stream on YouTube where it never ends, crazy as it seems. And it's miraculous that, I'm sure they're selling a shitload of these, no doubt about it. Probably to more people that are like kind of like bought into the hype, of what's happening. And I don't know. It's a very interesting thing that we're seeing now. And they're pushing the narrative that this is indeed going to be it for the Lincoln Cents. And they're using that as a way to move this product. And I think I could speak for a lot of people. Well, if I'm going to be buying and be personally bought in to the 2025 Lincoln Cent discontinuation, how about I just go right directly to the source? You have 2 better options. Go to the bank, see if you can get them, because a lot of banks have these now. There's actually a good fair amount of production that's sitting out there at the banks as we know it. Now, personally, I haven't gotten any yet. It's going to be a day that I will get those. But you either go to the bank or you just buy them off eBay. Buy a full box for a couple $100. and you're going to be saving yourself so much more money because you don't have to buy the fluff. You don't have to buy the 10 copper bars and rounds. Why would you want to buy those? You know, this is not a copper investment lot because they are firmly pushing the last Lincoln set, titling out there as the big pitch and promotion for this. So it wouldn't make any sense to buy the damn wheat sets, the 2 or 3 pounds that they put in there, the copper rounds and bars, as cool as they are, buy those separately. You can find them cheaper. And just focus on buying the rolls and just holding on to them. Because, if you were into it and you were going to be investing and you were speccing on it, just do it that way. That's kind of like the easier, least expensive, more economical way of approaching this. So I just thought I would talk about, the whole CoinVault TV thing and how they're like pushing the trend and the narrative of the Lincoln Set shortage and discontinuation talk chatter out there, and then really using it to their advantage. Do not be duped. I mean, if you like them and you're kind of like a supporter, a homer of CoinVault TV, all the more power to you. Just recognize that there are other different ways of doing this if you wanted to do it. The good news is these coins have dropped out so much in price that it's a little bit more palatable of a thing to invest in if you wanted to. There are people who pay $2,500 for a full bank box, and that is a serious, huge misfire when today, now they're down to $300 to $400 a box. Kind of a huge difference there, I would say. So that's why I want to talk about on the Saturday morning. I want to thank you guys again. And I'm not telling you to stop looking for these things because they're still selling for a good fair amount of money on the secondary market. I mean, if I got a $25 box of coin and sold it for $400, I'm not going to hate, I will gladly take that profit and run. So that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all the views and support as always. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Keep on collecting. We will have a PCMR out at some point this weekend. You guys take care. Enjoy this hobby. So long.